Here we go. Number 2. We're going to talk about Jerry Black.
Yes.
Jerry was a pioneer of the famed Northrop of St. Thomas. First up to tell us a short story about Jerry is Captain Gary Stews. Somebody will get that one.
Go, Gary.
Gary's been good for some real good stories.
Oh, nice.
Back in 1942.
See, it's 6th grade for me here in the same building. We've been given a time limit. I want to tell you that Jerry Black before St. Thomas. When I was in junior high school, I was a dock rat on sailfish docks in Cedar Island, and Jerry was running a 40-some-foot Willis craft. That was the Carolina boat they had back then, and it was all customized. I started out as a washdown boy, and then he didn't have a full-time mate. When he needed a mate, he let me go along and, rig baits and catch sailfish. And first time I ever went to the Bahamas, I went with Jerry Black. And I was the second mate. First blue marlin I ever caught was on that trip in Hopetown. And Jerry was sort of like an older brother / dad. And you can talk to Jerry about stuff you couldn't talk to your dad about. But my dad passed away when I was 17, and he became more dad and less big brother. And when I was screwed up, he let me know about it.
That was Daddy.
Along about 1960, the Jolly Roger was sold that Jerry was running. He went to work for a man named John Wood, and a boat based out of Oregon in the summer. And they had a Carolina boat that they built up in Currituck called Olive. And we started fishing that season out of Harris. And back then, if you wanted to catch a blue marlin, you either went to the Bahamas or you went to Puerto Rico. Carolina was just sort of catching on, and all of a sudden they had a tournament there at Hatteras, and that was the beginning of it. And that boat was sold, and in 1961, John Wood got some plans, and Jerry was a West Palm Beach guy, and they started in October in River Beach, Florida, right down by the Port of Palm Beach now in Quonset, owned by Mullins Lumber Company, and they started this boat in September, and that boat was in Hatteras following June, right after I graduated from high school. And they gave me a job. I was a sweeper and a sander, and whatever I wanted to do after school, I had to show up and watch that boat being built, and they had a guy named Burley Pender who built a hull. He built commercial boats in River Beach. And some moonlighters from Rivovich or E&H's boat, they got this boat done. And it was a pretty doggone looking boat, good looking boat. It ran good, and we had that thing up in Carolina. And we were catching, we were a private boat. We were probably the only private boat down at the Oregon Inlet Fishing Center. And we were catching, we had an experienced angler. We had a boat with 2 motors in it, which was uncommon up there then, and we were catching, our share of fish. And about 62, we were catching. The boy marlin showed up real good, and we were catching these fish sort of like sailfish down in Florida. I mean, there was 4 or 5 a day, something like that, sometimes more. And before that, if it swam and died. That was the culture back then. It was a charter dock, and the more fish you could put on the boat, you got business. But we were private though, so we decided, we're going to start letting these fish go. So, I don't know, this one day we had 3 or 4 fish, and we had another one on, and Jerry said, "We get him up to the boat, get him up there like we're going to keep him, get him hold him by the nose, pull him in the boat, take the hook out, and don't throw him overboard till I tell you to." So evidently there was some chatter on the radio that they couldn't believe anybody was letting the pig follow. And that's what I did, and after that, I didn't have to do it anymore. So that was the Jerry that I knew, and I learned a lot from him about life, fishing, and navigating. Back then, you went offshore out there, then you went offshore with a compass and a depth recorder. That was it. And you were out of sight of land all day long. And, you know, that's how it was, but that's how it was for everybody. And I had a chance to go to, that boat was sold to Rockefeller around 63. And
62.
that job was coming to an end, and Jerry had an opportunity to go to St. Thomas. And he asked me if I wanted to go, and I had just gotten out of high school and had a girlfriend. And, you know, I wanted to, and plus, I had a younger brother and a younger sister, and I was, you know, kind of like the man of the family then. I wanted to see them grow, so I didn't go down. I often wondered, you know, I kind of regretted it for a while, but Jerry went down there and did pretty doggone good without me, evidently, and that's why I was here, just to tell you about Jerry, that people didn't know from West Palm Beach that he was one heck of a fisherman up there, and very well